So it's Jackie here again from the LGFA, and you're all very welcome to another edition of Zoom interviews. We like to catch up with various personalities within the world of LGFA to see how they're getting on. And we have two people from Monaghan, two Monaghan players who know plenty about each other. They've lived together, they've played together, they've done it all together. It's Ellen McCarron and Laura McEnaney. How are you doing, girls? Beautiful sunny afternoon. Hope it's the same in your part of the woods.
Yeah, lovely and sunny in Monaghan, thank God, yeah.
Good stuff. How are you,
Hi
Laura?
everyone. Thanks for having us on, Jackie. All's good here. Yeah, the sun's keeping us going, so it's great.
Excellent, not a problem. I was doing a little bit of research on you both. So Ellen, I'm going to come to you first just in terms of work, because obviously work has changed substantially for many people during this COVID-19 pandemic. You are a teacher in Largy College,
Yeah.
graduate of DCU, as are you, Lauren. We'll get to that as well. So Ellen, how have things changed? How are you managing all this these strange?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's been a weird few weeks for everybody, but I suppose in terms of school, it's all been online work, you know, so as much as it's been hard for the teachers to adjust, I'm sure it was hard for students and parents as well. So, you know, just doing live classes every week and giving them homework, setting homework online, and they upload it or upload pictures and stuff, and you correct it and give them feedback. So it's been very different, but it's worked well. It's worked really well. We got a good timetable going after Easter, and you know, that really worked well, and students seemed to be, you know, engaging a lot, and it was very good. So we just finished up there last Friday for the summer, so nice to get the break now over the summer.
Absolutely. I'd say you were as busy, if not busier, than when things were normal, inverted commas, Ellen. Were you? How was it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we did find it. I suppose it just takes a while to adjust to the whole online thing, and you know, uploading work and recording your classes. But you know, once you get used to it and you know, you get into the swing of things, it wasn't too bad. But no, it was very busy. Yeah, but as we say now, the summer we can't complain now. It's 3 months off, so we'll enjoy them.
Ellen, you're what are you teaching there in Largy College?
I'm teaching biology, science, and PE. So the biology and science, you know, was thick and heavy over the last few weeks. You know, trying to get stuff done with all classes and you know, tests and stuff. And then with the PE, we had a Wellbeing Friday every Friday where we just uploaded, you know, workouts and different things. So that went really well, and students really enjoyed that. So it was good to get them out and get active on a Friday for Wellbeing Friday.
Yeah, brilliant. We're seeing plenty of those challenges online, which is great, and people seem to be very active right throughout this. Laura, you're also a PE teacher. You're in the Holy Family, Cootehill in County Cavan.
Yeah, so I teach kids with special needs. So I teach kids with ASD, Down syndrome, and kids with a wide, I suppose, spectrum of needs. So it's a really interesting job, and I suppose I'm very lucky because I teach PE all day, every day. So I really enjoy that part of it. And just like Ellen, we've been doing a Fitness Friday every week. So we have a closed Facebook page for all the parents and kids to engage with. So I would record a couple of videos and activities for the kids to do, and then they would upload their videos of them carrying out the activities and maybe other ideas that they would have. So for my kids, a lot would be visual learners, so it has gone down really well. And then every second Friday we do a live Facebook fitness session, and I'd get one of the other teachers to come on board, and we do a couple of activities with kids. So I suppose that live interaction, you know, some of them might come on and they might say hello to us, and we'd be able to engage back and say their name. So they really enjoyed that, and it was lovely to see them getting active every week.
How did you move into that field of PE, Laura? Because that's quite challenging at times, I'd imagine, your work.
Yeah, I didn't really know or envision that I was going to work with special needs, but I did a 10-week module in DCU, so I got a little taste of it there, and it was probably one of my favourite modules when I was in DCU. And I went for an interview with the ETB, and I got offered a fixed-term contract after it. I had nearly accepted the job before I even realised it was a special school, but listen, I think it's one of the best things that has ever happened to me. It really opened my eyes, and I suppose it challenged me in a different way than a mainstream school would. You know, you have to get creative, you have to adapt your lessons, and everything I learned in DCU, I just had to put my own little touch to it. And every student is different, so every class is different. But once you get to know the kids and you plan to suit their needs, you know, you get used to it. And at the minute, I couldn't see myself anywhere else, and I'm really happy where I am.
That's absolutely fabulous. Or you mentioned DCU, obviously the two of you go back a while. We won't ask about the extracurricular activities that might have happened down through the years, but
Coppers every Thursday.
oh, say no more, say no more. An old haunt of mine. I won't tell you a lie. So Ellen, you would have bounced into DCU before Laura, and two of your former housemates are Paul Flynn and Michael Murphy of Dublin and Donegal fame. So that's quite a household of stars there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they were actually in my class in DCU. They done PE and biology with me as well. But I suppose the house, we were very lucky. The house had, men's and ladies footballers, top class footballers. So I suppose when I started in DCU, I went up, and Ciara and Aoife McEnaney were already in it for Monaghan. So got up to them, and you had the likes of Shannon Quinn, Fiona McHale, Sinead O'Mahony, Fiona Hudson. There was an array of ladies footballers up there. So you went up and you just got into the middle of it all. They had won an O'Connor Cup the previous year before I got there, so pressure was on to win the second one, and the O'Connor Cup that year actually happened to be in DCU. So I went in not knowing what O'Connor Cup football was all about, but it was absolutely fantastic to play it. Probably one of the most challenging competitions I've ever played in. So we won that O'Connor Cup in DCU that year, and then we also I won a second one, they won a third one then down in UL. So it was a brilliant few years, and then I suppose they all left. They were all finished up college, but Laura and her crew landed.
I came in, and it all went downhill.
It all went downhill on the football field then. We didn't win any more O'Connor Cups, so we certainly did have the crack, and we had great times then too, with 2 years with Laura, so it was great.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we'd no O'Connor Cup this year due to the shutdown. It's really phenomenal football, Laura. You look through the team lists. I always go looking for them off DJ, and you see the squad list, and it's just littered with inter-county players. How much did that level of football help to shape you as well, Laura?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, when you're playing against the best and you're training with the best, it really brings out the best in you. I even know when I'm training with county or with DCU, like if you're playing in a game situation, you always try and pick up one of the best players in training, because if you're putting yourself up against the best, you have to really reach that high level and that high standard. So it definitely brought out the best in me, and 4 years playing with DCU was 4 of the best years in my life. You're living with the girls that you're playing with. You really have that special bond. You're cooking together, you're training together. And I suppose I don't really give Ellen much praise or thank her that much, but I suppose Ellen paved the path for me over the past number of years. I remember ringing her saying that I got offered a place to live on campus, and I debated. I had a chance to live with 5 of my best friends off campus, but she persuaded me, Laura, you won't regret it. It'll be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. And it definitely was. Living with them, the crack we had, you're right on campus, you're 2 minutes walk to your class. Like it really was the best days.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ellen, you can save that clip now. She said she doesn't give you praise that often, but there you go.
All right.
We'll send
that a wedding coming up at the end of the year, and I have to cut my numbers, so she's hoping to get on that list.
I hope to make the cut.
Later on this year, isn't it, Ellen? Yeah.
Yeah, December. Well, hopefully, but sure, we'll wait and see how things pan out. But hopefully, December, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a couple of other players who have similar plans, and they're quite uncertain at the moment. Are you still pushing on regardless?
Pushing on regardless. Might have to cut a few people, so I'll have to look at my list. But no, hopefully it'll go ahead as planned anyway. Okay,
good, Laura. You'll stay on that list anyway after saying that, I'd imagine. Guys, there was no way out of football, I'm sure, for you two when you look at the family backgrounds. Your dad was Ray McCarron, obviously. Ellen, former player, and your brother is Jack, who's still heavily involved. And Laura, your dad is Seamus, who's manager of the Monaghan team, and your uncle obviously is Pat, well known and renowned referee back in the day. Ellen, just going to you first. I mean, that was a nice upbringing in terms of, I often ask players how did they was there football in the family. There most obviously was in your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose probably from both sides. Everybody says we got football from dad, but I suppose mom and her family were heavily involved too. She's a football fanatic. So yeah, you can remember dad would have played with Scottstown, and they would have won a lot back in the 90s. And, he would have had me and Jack at training and would have went to Scottstown with him all the time. So that's what you remembered, stuck in Kilmore and Scottstown, kicking the balls back out to them and stuff. But no, it was brilliant. And then I suppose just going to all the Monaghan games down through the years, and then obviously Jack playing and then myself playing. It's just been football all the way through. So it's been brilliant. Couldn't have asked for any different, you know.
Absolutely. How are you both coping, yourself and Jack? I mean, obviously at this time, without collective training, without that team environment, the culture that's created, the buzz of intercounty, that camaraderie with your teammates. How are you managing all that?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's very different, but you have to look at it that every team and every player's in the same situation, you know, so it's not just you. We've just put the garage into a bit of a gym there, and that's all we can do. Just try and, you know, make it as best as we can and do a few gym sessions out there. And then lucky enough, we have a big garden and big back garden that we can do a bit of running and, you know, practice our skills and stuff. So, you know, we're very lucky. We live out in the country. We have that space that we're able to, you know, do that. But no, it's been, you know, you just have to adapt to the change, and it's been good. Like, you know, you're not rushing here and there, and you're actually getting to spend more time with family. So it's been good. Yeah.
Good. How are you managing, Laura?
Yeah, not too bad. We're very lucky with the Monaghan ladies and with Kieran and Adam involved. And Ricer, like, you know, we get our plan every Sunday evening, and I suppose that gives you a schedule for the week, and you know what you're doing. And we do a live class with them every week, or with Amanda's Pilates, Amanda Casey, who would be a past player with Monaghan. So she's very good to us. She does a live Pilates class with us every week. So your sessions give you a structure for the week, and every week it changes. So we've had loads of different between challenges. We've had bake-offs, we've had keep you uppy challenges, you know, and all of those have kept every week different and every week interesting. And you know, the 1,000-kilometer challenge that we also did to raise money for the 3 different organisations.
Yeah, tell me about that, Laura. Tell me more about that, yeah, because we were more than happy to promote it. What was involved and how did you get on in the end?
Yeah, so when we started out, we wanted to pick, you know, we were going to do a fundraiser. We wanted to pick 3 very worthy organisations. So we knew Do It For Dan was struggling to get money, and they really needed that. So we did Do It For Dan, So Sad, and our frontline workers, who we have 4 of our team are working on the front line every day. So we decided on those 3 different organisations, and listen, all the girls really got on board, and it really brought all of us together, virtually together. And we downloaded an app, Edmodo, and you know, when you were out for a run, you had a little pep talk. So I could go in, and if Ellen was out running, I could say, keep it going, Ellen, you're doing great. And you know, you'd be nearly waiting on the wee pep talks, and it really would keep you going. I ended up doing my first half marathon. I never thought I'd do one in my life, but I suppose just a different training we would have done up to it. And I just said, you know, I'd give it a go. But listen, it was definitely a really good way to keep girls motivated. And I think most girls ended up clocking between 60 and 80 kilometres that week, which was incredible. And a different type of training for lady footballers. You know, wouldn't really get the chance to ever run a 10k. So it was a lovely experience and something really good to be part of. And we were so lucky that we did raise €12,000 to divide between the different organisations. So just this week we were going to present iPads to a couple of the local nursing homes, and I suppose it's very close to my heart because my nanny was in one of them. And so tomorrow I'll be going over to Castleross to present some iPads to the nursing home, so that they can connect with their family members at home and when they're not getting to see them. So I think it'll be a really special day tomorrow and when we hand them over.
Laura, that is fantastic, absolutely brilliant, and worthy causes, and that'll be absolutely lovely tomorrow. You know, we had Mick Fitzgerald, the former Kerry manager, on I think it was last week or the week before, and he was talking about his grandkids. He hasn't seen them for so long, but I think it was his first ever Zoom call, and you know, that now will open up a new outlet for him to see his grandkids face to face. So there's a new way of living and a new way of communication, which is absolutely fantastic. So well done, and well done to the entire Monaghan panel. That was absolutely fantastic. Guys, you're no strangers to All Ireland finals. Ellen, you came on in 2008 against Cork, and then you met them again a couple of times after that, 2011 and 2013, and you were in both of those as well, Laura. And at club level as well, you've both played in All Ireland club finals. Unfortunate to lose both clubs, Corduff and Emmet Óg. What is the experience? You know, I suppose, look, it's a very obvious question to ask when you've suffered that heartbreak at both club and county level. What would it be like, Laura, to eventually get your hands on an All Ireland medal?
Yeah, I've been very unfortunate between club, county, and DCU. I've got to a lot of All-Ireland finals and I just haven't got over the line. I suppose just looking back, I was in 2 club All-Ireland finals, a junior, 2 juniors, and the first time I was in it, I sort of thought those days came round every year, and I was only 16 at the time. I didn't appreciate it, but in 2017, I lapped up every single day of it, every training, every match, every time we got to the next match. You know, I really lapped it up and took it all in, because I just knew those days don't come round too often. It was definitely my favourite year ever playing football. We were very fortunate to get a lot of our games at home. We got home advantage. So, you know, our All-Ireland semi-final against Cootehill was at home in Corduff. The stadium was full. It was one of the best experiences that I've ever played in front of, and the celebrations after the game. And every match we only won by a point or 2 points. So every match was so significant. So listen, I suppose the journey that we had that year was incredible. I know we didn't get the silverware at the end of it, but I'll never forget that journey. And, you know, from the start of the year till we played Ahada in the All-Ireland final. And I'll be ever grateful for being able to play a part in it.
Yeah, I was fortunate to be at that game. It was a cracking game as well, Laura. And yourselves, Emmet Óg, were in the 2018 final then. Ellen, you were unfortunate enough to run into Siobhan Killeen, who managed to. We had Siobhan on a couple of weeks ago.
Anyway.
Yeah, she was. She did a phenomenal performance. But the experience of playing, can you compare maybe, Ellen, the experience of playing an All-Ireland final for your club and county, because you've experienced both, obviously, and college?
Yeah, I suppose they're all totally different. Like, as Laura said, I probably followed Corduff and Dunamine and the likes in their club, you know, All-Ireland successes and being at their games. But as Laura said, probably our All-Ireland semi-final was in Emmet Óg as well, against the British champions. And
that's right.
I absolutely never forget that day either. You know, you have half of the county there supporting you, you know, and it's just mental, and the celebrations after were fantastic. And we were unlucky to come up against Clontarf, you know, they were a serious side, but it's still the whole build up to the All-Ireland, and even after it was all brilliant. But I suppose there is no real comparison. You're playing with all your best friends, your neighbours, your cousins and stuff like that. So it really brings the whole community together. And I suppose we're very lucky we're an amalgamated club, and it brought all the clubs together. And, you know, it's something that we'll never forget. And now in this last year or two, you know, it's brought us on even more. We're closer than we ever were. And it definitely was because of that great success, you know, back in 2018. It was brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Monaghan in 2020, ladies, you played 5 and won 3 in Division 2, and we're right in that pack. There was a pack of 3 teams, Cavan, Tyrone and yourselves on 9 points, just one off Meath, and Kerry were up on top of the pile. So Laura, things were moving quite well, weren't they?
Yeah, we weren't going too bad. Listen, we mightn't have been too happy with some of our performances, but I suppose we were still hanging in there, and we were probably pushing for a semi-final. But there wasn't much between in any of the games, and you know, every week you were seeing different results between all the different teams, so you never really knew who was top of the pack. But I'm not sure at this stage if we'll get to finish it out, but I suppose you always have to have hope that we will be back playing this year, and you just have to take it every week at a time. You know, we're not sure if it'll be up to September, October when we'll be back, but you just have to keep training away with a hope and a vision that we will be back this year and get to play some bit of ball.
Laura, do you have a preferred position on the pitch? Because I've seen you in a number of positions, whereas Ellen, you'd be more renowned as a forward and a free scoring forward. But Laura, do you feel there's a one set position that you'd like to nail down on a long-term basis, or are you happy enough maybe to be shifted around from time to time?
Listen, I don't really mind as long as I get a jersey. I'm happy enough to play wherever or whatever role I'm given.
That's the
I do like
answer,
playing.
Laura.
No, listen, I am happy enough playing. I used to prefer forwards, but I've settled into backs now, and that's where I've been playing for both club and county over the past few years. So, but the odd time I could be thrown up into half forward or full forward, and I just get on with it and do my best. wherever it is.
Very good. I'm sure Kieran is looking on the Monaghan Manager 2020. Ellen, what kind of an impact has Kieran made since he's come in? You've obviously got a high quality backroom team as well, and you've touched upon some of the stuff that's still happening in lockdown, and trying to keep that bond and that sense of camaraderie within the squad in a virtual world. What's his impact been like since he took over, Ellen?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think it's probably just a new freshness, when himself and Adam was actually our club manager with Emmet Óg that year we got to the All-Ireland. So,
that's right.
We know him very well, but it's the freshness they bring to the team, their training sessions, everything, just all the other wee extra bits they've had us doing has just been brilliant. And, we've thoroughly
we're losing you just a small. We'll see if that line comes back, Ellen. We're just losing you a little bit there. The wonders of modern technology. Laura, you're still there anyway. What about Kieran and the job he's done so far? I think you're back, Ellen. We'll come back to you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Laura, the job
that... listen, we were very... Yeah, no, we were very fortunate to be able to do pre-season probably for one of the first years. We wouldn't have been able to get back early, but we were back, early November, and we got a good strength and conditioning program in, and you really could see that when you went back onto the field then in January, and girls were much stronger and leaner, and so that opportunity to do a bit of work before we went back definitely stood to us. But no, we've really enjoyed it so far, and listen, even when it has gone virtual, he's done everything as he can to try and keep the team together and try and keep girls motivated. And as I said, every week, the training sessions have been different, and there's been different challenges thrown in there, so they really are doing the best they can in the circumstance at the minute as well.
Excellent. And I'll come back to you, and apologies, I think it's actually my connection here is a little unstable, I've been told. So you mentioned that the impact that Kieran has made, and obviously there's a very familiar face to you in the backroom team as well.
Yeah, so Adam would be very familiar with us, and we've seen at club level the training sessions and the stuff that he can bring to the table, and no different to county. He brought that all to the county team too, and I suppose it's just the new freshness, fresh ideas, and they're very open to try things and very open to different sorts, as Laura has mentioned, the challenges and stuff. It's all a bit of crack and a bit of fun, and it's all about bonding the team together, because there is some old heads there, but there's a lot of new, young, fresh faces coming in. The minor team would have had a very good year last year.
Right, yeah.
We're trying to bring them players along, so it's been good crack with the younger players as well, trying to develop them into the senior team, because they're the future. They're the ones that are going to be there long past us. We're ready for up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there does seem to be that sense of a renaissance in Monaghan. Laura, Ellen mentioned the minor team from last year as well that did so well and got to an All-Ireland final. Are you confident about the future and future years and what lies in store?
Yeah, there's definitely some very good new blood that has come into the team, and even really pushing us older heads for positions on the team. So I definitely think Monaghan hopefully has a good future. We've been at a level point we haven't really stepped it up again over the last few years, so hopefully this new fresh blood combined with a few old heads, we will try and push on as best we can in both the league and championship.
Yeah, I wish you well. And then we'll wrap up with your good self. How much are you looking forward to getting back on the pitch and getting back kicking points and all of that stuff that comes natural to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just can't wait to get back out. Hopefully the GAA grounds will open soon enough, and we'll actually be able to get back down and do a bit of shooting. But no, look, the GAA, they just have to wait and see how things go. At the minute, it looks promising, but you never know what's around the corner. So I can see where they're coming from, taking it step by step. But we're hopeful that there will be county football and club football. It'd be great to have any sort of football now in 2020. So fingers crossed, all going well, we will have something.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to see you guys back doing what you do best, representing your clubs and your county with distinction. So Ellen McCarron and Laura McEnaney, I wish you, your families very well, and stay safe and stay well. And thanks for coming on today. Great talking to you both.
Thank you, Jackie. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks for having us.